What the weirdest thing you did while you were high? One time my eye was really dry, so I stopped drinking my water and started slowly pouring water into my eye, all of it, while I was sitting on my friend's bed, leaving just a bit, so I could still have one gulp. I was fucked up looking for my hotel in Atlantic City. Somehow got there and woke up the next morning to just hotel being in the search bar of my Spotify. That was my best effort. Some girls in high school invited me to go smoke and swim in a creek with them. Of course I went to got high as fuck. Spent the next 30 minutes sitting in the creek. I was so still that a fish came up and bit my ass. I didn't realize what I was doing until one of the girls asked me why the fuck I was all alone sitting in the middle of a creek not moving. Got up to leave my bedroom and knocked on the door before opening it to go out. I started to get random sensations all over my body. The inside of my left thigh was getting really warm, and I had to keep checking every few minutes to see I hadn't pissed myself. Every time I get stoned, I just want to confine myself to the smallest space possible. It's not a fear or anxiety thing. Stoned me genuinely feels more comfortable under a table or bed, or even inside a cardboard box. This one time, went to let the dog out, and I walked out instead and left my dog inside. One time years ago I was camping at a campground with my wife and a few friends. We're all sitting around the fire drinking. Her brother and I go for a walk to smoke some joints. We finish that, and I have to piss, so he goes back to the group, and when I'm done I head back as well. So I get back, and I'm pretty baked at this point, and I'm just standing there watching the fire and drinking my beer for a few minutes. I then noticed a particular Coleman lantern on the picnic table and thought to myself, I don't remember us having one of those here. It was at that point that I realized I was standing at the wrong damned campsite amongst a bunch of people I have never met, while my group was watching from the next site over, laughing and wondering WTF I was doing. Made a cup of tea with cold water and proceeded to put the entire concoction into the microwave. When I discovered that the door wouldn't close because the mug was too big, I tipped a bit of water from the mug and tried again. Eating yogurt with a fork in front of my parents. My dad waited for about 10 minutes to say that a spoon might make it easier. Went to White Castle to get food for everyone after we smoked. We all had the same order, 2 double cheese sliders and an order of mozzarella sticks. When I gave her my order I didn't just say that I wanted 8 double cheese sliders in total. I repeated the 2 double cheese sliders and mozzarella sticks 4 times. By the time I got to the end of my order the cashier sounded so defeated. I still cringe thinking back to that moment, but it's also one of my funniest smoke stories. A few years ago I was on shrooms with some friends and we went on a walk to smoke a cig. Every time I took a puff of my cigarette, I was expecting to taste Mountain Dew, and I was disappointed every time that it didn't. I quit smoking cigs a few days after that. One time I came back inside from a back porch smoke and put my lighter in the sink. My reasoning was I'll put it in the dishwasher later. I thought that if I became rich, I'd keep all my money in pennies to prevent people from stealing it. Also once tried roasting a hot dog with no stick, just holding the wiener in my hand over an open flame. It did not work. It's not that weird, but I get really weird sensations when in high. Other people probably get it too, but I just don't know how to describe it. But one time I was just rubbing my leg a little because I was cold and my friend was sitting next to me. So then I was like, well, I can feel my hand and I can feel my leg. I wonder if I can feel hers. So I rubbed her leg and was like, wow, I can't feel it, and I didn't really understand why. My friend just laughed at how stupid I was. LMAO. Got high, ate a bunch of jalapeno poppers. Not that weird. No, the weird part was the calendar appointment I made for myself the next morning that just said ha 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 ha. Jaime apparently predicted the right time for my morning bowel movement, and as those little jalapeno poppers burned again on the way out, he reached out across time and space to laugh at sober me about it. Ordered food for delivery. Forgot. Went to grocery store for stuff to BBQ. Remembered about the food for delivery while paying in line. Me and two friends went on a hike in these hills in my neighborhood one time. We hiked for about 30 to 40 minutes and we're on top of this big ass hill admiring the view and decide we should order pizza when head down so it can arrive right when we get back. We're filling out an online order to have prepared for when we get closer to the bottom and then accidentally placed the order on top of the hill. We were all like oh shit and literally ran all the way down the hill and back to my house. Caught the pizza dude literally right as we get to the house. Sweaty F. We also ended up giving the guy $20 extra on accident. The very first time I got high, my lovely friend told me you'll know when you've had enough, so of course I smoked a ton. When I wasn't moving, it felt like time had stopped. I had no idea what was going on. If I moved though, I was completely fine. I ended up dancing to no music by myself as long as I could before I went to sleep. I think I went to sleep anyway. Time wasn't working. I may have just laid there for 8 hours. I ate mushrooms by myself and some guy dropped off pizza at my house, so I signed for it. Only thing is, I didn't order any pizzas. My boyfriend came home and said you ordered pizza? It had been sitting on the table for hours. I thought I dreamt it. Whoops. The guy came to the very wrong house. But I did tip him handsomely, so I did the right thing. Spent 45 minutes looking for my glasses with my friend. Said fuck it BC I had to leave and was now running late. When I went to put on my sunglasses I smashed them onto my glasses. I had my glasses on my fucking face the whole time and neither myself or my friend noticed. Was watching a Korean drama when I had a whole freak out when I realized holy shit, I suddenly understand Korean. I woke my BF up and made him watch with me as I translated for him. He laughed at me for 5 minutes before he told me I was actually just reading the subtitles. Freaked out that I'd lost my iPad somewhere on the way to the train station. I got off the train and went back, retracing my steps all the way back to my apartment, only to realize that I was listening to music the whole time on my iPad. I remember a while ago I was stoned playing WoW. I was in the middle of Stormwind just holding the W and D key, running in circles for a solid 15 to 20 minutes laughing my ass off. I then somehow thought I discovered a game-changing feature, so I started up a screen recorder and set my mic up, and talking absolute nonsense that was completely incoherent. In the middle of one of my sentences, after I stopped laughing so much I went hold on, wait, I think I just thought of something else to try out, and I got quiet and my character stopped running in circles. Suddenly, I held the W and A key and started running in the opposite direction. I instantly started laughing my ass off and did that for another 20 minutes. The first time I tried weed I couldn't stop licking my lips BC they were tingly. The first time I did mushrooms I was obsessing over every touch BC there were 3 layers to it. The layer where my hand could feel it, the layer where my body could feel it, and the layer where I was seeing it. And the first time I did acid I spent a solid hour or more making biscuits with my feet and the blanket on the couch that they were wrapped in. The weed/lips thing has gone away now that I smoke regularly, but I haven't done mushrooms or acid a second time yet. Hopefully soon on the acid, but the mushrooms I could wait a bit longer on. They weren't as good. Completely freaked out because everyone around me was speaking a foreign language and I couldn't understand anything. Note to self, don't get high in a foreign country. In no particular order. Woke up to the remote control for the TV inside of the fridge from the night before. Let out a autoplay for so long that I was eventually watching fire truck drag racing and everyone's favorite. Watched hours upon hours of the Yule log TV show with my friends. So much that we knew when the hand was going to come into the scene to move the logs around. The first time I smoked keef was my 21st birthday after already drinking way too much. The fade was so intense that I couldn't walk. My friends put me in my bed, but for some reason I felt the need to not be in my room. So with my non-functioning legs, I crawled on my elbows down the hall and down a staircase to an empty bedroom where I laid on the floor in the dark for 30 minutes. Then I got uncomfortable laying on the ground, so I miraculously regained control of my legs and managed to remove the door to the bedroom to lay on. Pretty solid mattress if you like yours firm. Back in college, I got super baked with friends. Like almost non-verbal, tunnel vision stoned. We went to this donut place near campus, Ken's Donuts if anyone is familiar with the Austin area. I was staring at the counter full of donuts. I felt like I was standing there for like a minute quietly humming and thinking. Apparently, it was closer to 10 minutes, and I was loudly humming the theme song to Jurassic Park over and over again. For some reason we were listening to it on the drive over, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I laughed my ass off multiple times while eating the donuts after the whole standing/humming like a moron thing I was doing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and comment below your stories to be part of a future video.